likely to get kicked out of a store? Who's most likely to take the longest showers?
I'm not angry anymore. Well, sometimes
Who's most likely to go on a world tour? Who's most likely to be the one who would always end their relationships?
look me in my face. Tell me that you love me even.
Who's most likely to worry about small things? Who's most likely to hide their boyfriend or girlfriend from their parents?
Hey, come on, you lazy wake up. Hey, come on, take your drums. Hey.
Who's most likely to always have a smile on their face?
Let me take you dancing.
Like that, 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 that.
Who's most likely to make someone else jealous? Who's most likely to be a cool mom or dad? Who's most likely to take a prank too far?
It's a remix and I'm coming with that bow, bow, bow. Pretty bitch, I'm trying.
Who's most likely to stalk their friends?
Watching you now every other day. I'm watching you.
Who's most likely to be the person who's always laughing?
Ooh, baby, do you know that's what?
Who's most likely to become a alcoholic?
Call me when you want, call me when.
Who's most likely to become rich?
If I was a rich girl.
Who's most likely to keep the most secrets?
Got a secret, can you keep?
Who's most likely to look like a softie but actually a psychopath?
Where's my job?
Who's most likely to spread rumors and start drama?
I see you in the streets, bitch, your ass is.
Who's most likely to have a crush on 10 celebrities?
You are now my big fat crush.
Who's most likely to marry a celebrity? Who's most likely to be the most toxic? Who's most likely to be crazy in the middle of the night?
A girl like me, I'm too crazy. For every other girl you meet is too gazy.
Who's most likely to have a caffeine addiction?
It's broken, this that college dropout music every day.
Who's most likely to trash a wedding? Who's most likely to get scared the easiest? Who's most likely to become a model? Who's most likely to travel the most? Who's most likely to do something stupid in front of their crush? Who's most likely to easily get into a fight?
Well, she told me she was crazy from the start.
Who's most likely to become a strict parent?
All my ladies, listen up.
Who's most likely to get hurt and laugh really hard about it?
Is going on inside their head.
Who's most likely to become
Most likely to run over their best friend's ex with their car. Most likely to fall in love with someone from a TikTok. Most likely to be secretly immortal. Most likely to rob a bank for money.
Money is the anthem of success.
Most likely to join a cult. Most likely to start a cult. Most likely to get famous for a hot mugshot.
I got the old man's car.
Most likely to get married in Vegas and forget about it.
That's what you get for waking up in Vegas.
Who has the nicest body?
Body crazy, curvy, wavy, big, little waist, body, yada, 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 yada.
Who parties the hardest? Who's the alcoholic?
Wasted every night, gone for every song.
Who can't get past the talking stage? Who has moved on from their ex?
I don't miss no ex, I don't miss no text. They choose not to respond. I don't regret.
Who can't move on from their ex?
There's a million reasons why I should give you up, but the heart wants what it wants.
Who's the boldest?
Bitch, I don't give a fuck about you or anything that you do.
Who's the biggest simp?
I just wanna show you off to all of my friends, making them drool on a chinny chin chin.
Who's the most hardworking?
Who's most likely to do something dangerous for fun? Who's most likely to go to college? Who's most likely to own their own business? Who's most likely to get into a car accident?
Feels like I'm going insane, yeah.
Who's most likely to win the lottery? Who's most likely to get revenge on their bully?
Look what you made me do. Look what you made me do.
Who's most likely to do something dangerous for fun? Who's most likely to party the hardest? Who's most likely to be the parent in the group?
Wake me up before you go through.
Who's most likely to become a dancer?
I still got my money.
Who's most likely to be left out?
Please don't leave me.
Who's most likely to be single all the time?
Can't believe we ain't together.
Who's most likely to be cheated on?
When you broke me.
Most likely to. Most likely to listen to Christmas music in July. Most likely to make fun of someone as an attempt to flirt. Most likely to refuse to text first. Most likely to get TikTok famous just for being attractive. Most likely to be the Scooby-Doo villain. Most likely to look at the stars for hours. Most likely to be from another planet.
Traveling in the world of my creation.
Most likely to drive to Chick-fil-A on a Sunday to realize it's closed.
Stop. What the hell are you talking about?
Who's most likely to get upset over little things?
Go babies, go babies, go babies, go babies.
Who's most likely to save up all their money? Who's most likely to spend all their money? Who's most likely to be killed first in a horror movie? What do y'all think? Who's most likely to have the best taste in guys and girls? Who's most likely to be obsessed with 80s and 90s music? Who's most likely to be obsessed with aesthetic things? Who's most likely to get upset over little things?
Go babies, go babies, go babies, go babies.
Who's most likely to save up all their money? Who's most likely to leave a party early? Who's most likely to change their personality depending on who they hang out with? Who's most likely to get their friend in trouble? Who's most likely to be obsessed with fidget toys? Who's most likely to become a baddie? Who's most likely to fall down the stairs and be fine? Who's most likely to leave a party early? Who's most likely to change their personality depending on who they hang out with? Who's most likely to get their friend in trouble? Who's most likely to be obsessed with fidget toys? Who's most likely to trip over their own foot? Who's most likely to be scared of the ocean?
Wide open, it's the ocean, I'm just imposing.
Who's most likely to travel anywhere with their car?
Baby, take a ride in my Tesla. Yes, sir.
Who's most likely to be the person who's always making bad decisions?
My bad habits lead to late nights and then alone.
Who's most likely to cry over a movie? Who's most likely to be on call or FaceTime for hours?
Give me all your numbers so I can phone you.